Okay, so let me start with this example. I will run it and you will tell me what will be the output of this program. Here we have a list of names, empty list, and here we have a loop. It will prompt the user to give a name, and it will append this name to the list. What does it mean? Okay, how many times? No, it's a loop. No, it's a loop. After that, we will display this list. So let me run it. Enter a name, name one, enter name, name two, enter name, name three. Then it will display name one, name two, name three. This is a normal program. كما مستانسين بيه. However, if I run it again, name four, name five, name six, name one, name two, and name three are lost. This is the problem with programs without files or without database in general, because file is one of the databases, can be considered as one of the databases. So we need to find a solution to save, to keep the data for next time ولا for next year ولا for خاطر نجم نسكر انا تو جمله ونرجع غدوه. I have to find all data كيما البروجرامز بتاع الدنيا الكل. I have to find all data. They cannot be ensured by a simple list. So I will try another program that contains a file. Let me explain the program first. Here I will open a file. File راهو يعني فايل txt فايل عادي. هذا وينه text document العادي هذا اللي هو .txt ذاك اللي notebook notepad. So here I will open the file اللي أنا سميته لهنا names.txt instead of list.txt. I will explain what is this later. Just open it. I open the file, then I will loop, and instead of putting the names in a list, I will put the name in a file. Then I will display the file. Let me run it. Enter a name, name one, name two, name three. Okay, names in the file 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me close everything and open it again. I will run the program again. Name 4, name 5, name 6. شلون كنا نلقاو توا؟ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So of course we can look for this file. وعليكم السلام. Welcome.
Morning, everyone. How are you?
And you can see that all the names are stored in the file txt. I can even write name 7 here in my file and save it. If I run the program, name 8, name 9, name 10, I will find my name 7. Of course, I saved it without the new line. Okay, so what is the utility of a file? To store a list, also store. Okay, I need the keyword. Save data permanently. Yes, yes, yes. Good. We don't use this in files, but it is not non-volatile. But volatile. Do you remember volatile? You have to. Back. We have in year 13 a whole يعني like one big chapter about files. Just after the object oriented, we have files, and it will be complicated, and we will go in depth. Okay, but for year 12, we are just taking the pseudocode part. Good morning. So it will be easy for year 12. I will show you the main operations that we can do with files. So first thing about file modes and operations. Files are used to store data permanently. Remember this keyword, permanently, allowing programs to read from and write to them. File handling operations include opening, reading, writing, and closing files. These are four operations that we will do every exercise, but here reading and writing will change according to the question. If we want to open a file, we can open a file in three modes. We can open a file for reading, only reading. We can open a file to write, yani we will edit the file, or we can open the file for append. The file already exists and we will add something. Here, you as a student, you have to choose. They will not tell you how we will open the file, but they will like ask you add something to the file. You will figure out that we have to use the append mode. Good morning. The file operations: open file, read file, write file, close file, end of file. End of file is a boolean. We will check the end of the file. If we are in the end of the file, mean we will close the file. And we have two more rare operations. Sometimes we use them: delete and rename file. With common algorithms, you will be familiar with dealing with files. Let's start with first one. Here we will read and output each line from a file named student.txt. We have a file in the computer. We will open this file. We will read it, and we will display it in the screen. That's all. We will not touch it. We will not edit. So I said we will not edit. So we will open it for read. We said that there are three modes: read, write, and append. Here in the question, they didn't tell us which mode we have to use, but they told us read and output each line from a file named student.txt. So we know that we have to open it for read mode. That's why we added for read after open file. So this is the first operation we will do: open file student.txt for read. لأنها تاخد عليها 1 point. So you have already 1 point in the exam. Now, how we will look through all the lines of the file. We have a file with many lines. We will display them all one by one, one after one. So we need a loop. But this loop, we don't know how many lines. هكا ولا we know. We don't know how many lines. So we have to use for loop or while loop because we don't know. When? Until when? Until the condition of the. Which condition in this case? No more lines. Yes. How can we express more no more lines? With this function, with this function, end of file اسمها end of file. هذا is a boolean. معناها can be true وإلا can be false. If it is true, means no more lines. No. If it is true, means it is the end of file, means no more lines, means we will not do this anymore and we will close the file. But if it is false, means we still have lines, we will do this. What is this? Read file from student.txt and put what we are reading currently in a variable named line. This is the first thing. The second thing, output this line. We will repeat this so many times as much as we still have lines in our file student.txt. Clear? Questions? Yes. When we will stop, when the file will have no more lines. How can we know that the file has no more lines? There is a function called end of file that gives us a Boolean result, means it will tell us true or false. True means what? End of file. True means yes, we are in the end of the file. True means no more lines. False, of course, still have lines. So we will repeat these two instructions. Don't forget this. This is a not. Means not true. Not no more lines. Means there is more lines. Not no more lines. Not means there is more lines. So we will do this. We will read the line and output it. Can we use repeat group and repeat read files to 16? There is a problem in using repeat. Who can answer the question? He said that can we use repeat until instead of while? Because repeat checks the condition and the end. And what's the problem here? Very good question, ya Hamd. But I need a very good answer too from you. Hamid said, why we are using while here? Why don't we use repeat until? The only difference between while and repeat until is post condition and precondition. Yes. Why we don't have to use post condition here? Yes. And if there is no condition at the beginning, what will happen? We will start reading the first line. What if the file is empty? Sometimes the text file is empty. If the file is empty, what will happen? We will read nothing, and we will display this nothing, so it will be error. That's why we need to check before starting the instructions. Not true, well, not false. We need the not true to do this. Actually, we need the not false, because not false we will be true to do this. Okay, let's take another example. Here we will write the names John Doe and Jane Smith to a file named output. We said write the names, so we will edit the file. So we cannot use this for read. For read, for write, for append. Here we will use for write because we are editing the file. Open file, output text for write. Then a new operation, write file. Operations هاني حاططهم لكم لهنا. Open file, read file, write file, close file, end of file, delete name. These are the basic operations that we will use from now on. Open file is clear to open the file. Delete file to delete, rename. يعني الاسامي بتاعهم end of file, close file, delete file, and write file. Write file writes data to a file. So we have data and a data new line, and we will add this new line write file, where, what, where, what. We will write in the file named output.txt what we will write. We will write John Doe. We will write in the file output.txt what we will write. We will write Jane Smith. And then we will close the file. Don't forget to close the file because closing the file is an easy instruction. We'll mark متاعها 1. So it is a bonus for you. Now we will append the file. What's the difference between append a file and write a file? Ata, yes. Who told you? When? Okay. Okay. Append will add to the previous file, but write will erase the previous file, the old file, and we'll start from zero. We'll start from scratch. So when we have already a file and we use write operation, we will lose data. We will create a new file on the top of the old file. That's why here we will use for append to add to the previous one, to add a new name. We don't want to lose the previous data. So we will add Alex and then we will close the file. One more example, we will copy file content. Now the programs will be a little more complicated. شوي complicated. Here we will copy content of input to output. We have two files. We will put the content of the input in the output. So first thing we need to open these two files, input and output. However, the input we will open it for read and the output we will open it for write because we will take the content from the input and put it in the output. So the first one is for read, the second one is for write. Yes.
Did you choose that or it's always in that, like input read and output write?
The name of the files? No, it's.
Swapped it.
No, because the question said copy content of input to output. It depends on the question. Here we need the loop again. Academy loop while. Loop to loop through all lines in the input txt. For each time, we will read from the file inputs. What we will read, we will save it in a variable named line. Then we will write in the file output. What we will write that line. And we will repeat this as much as we don't reach the end of file yet. No. Line by line. في Python we can. Then always we will close lines. Rename. This is a rare question that happened one time in 2021. They asked students to rename and delete. That's why I put it here. It's okay. Maybe they will ask it again. Rename from all data to backup data. Just we will rename the file, change the name of the file. If we will delete, just put the name of the file that you want to delete. This is what we have to know about files. However, the questions about files are a little bit complicated. Yes, we will use only this, but in different context, in bigger context, inside the files, there will be string manipulation, list manipulation. For example, here, see, in the question, in the examples I gave you today, I only read file and output file. But in the real question in the past papers, there is a lot of codes here that are based on that line. For example, they will ask you to take a line and count how many words in that line. So you will take the line, but instead of just output line, there will be like 3 or 4 lines to count how many words in that line, to count how many characters in that line, to do string manipulation, if else about that line, maybe sometimes like a mod or div or etc. So everything is based on level 2, 3, 4, 5. Even we are in level 6. The level 6, this is the structure of level 6, but inside the level 6, you will find level 4, level 5 mainly, 4 and 5 mainly, level 3 like an application. So if no more questions, we can start exercises. In case you want to add the, for example, like you said, we have a word, we have multiple characters. If we want to add down the for loop, and then we say for every character, not a value of one. Okay. If you want to do what? To know how many characters you have in a word. So if you want to know how many characters, first thing you will set a variable the count. Count. Then you will loop through the string. We're not the value of one. Count. Of course, value of one because who is gonna change value of one before the loop. Before the loop, count is one. Then inside the loop, the count will be incremented with each character in the string. Then whenever I type that, it will look like it adds the value of the the index of the character. For example, character index 2, index 3, it will add that index. I don't want to add the value which is 1. If it the index يعني plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. That's what it does. And I want to add the value which is 1. Like I said, to count how many words in a word. Oh, if you put count equal count plus 1, it will not add the index. It will add 1. Maybe you did something else to add the index, but here we will add only 1. Okay, the practice exercise, they are not too much. مشكلة string. Read each line from data.txt, and if the line is empty, write empty line. So output.txt. Otherwise, write the line as it is. And we will copy the text file in another text file. But if the line is empty, we will not copy the empty line, but we will copy empty line, string, empty line. Otherwise, we will output the line as it is. First, let's gather the points. This kind of exercise is out of 4 or 5 points. One of them is opening and closing the file. Even if you don't know how to do this, just write open file, close file, you will get 1 point. Open file, of course, data for read, open file output for write, because we will read from the data and we will put it in the output. So these two lines, and we will close both files at the end. Why do we close files in general? Sometimes they ask you, why do we close files? To not lose data? No, we don't lose data if we don't close the file.
So keep it saved in your browser.
No.
But then
No, it will not be changed if we don't close the file.
check look at operation. Just uploading.
Something related to chapter 3 in the theory, about the RAM, about the resource consumption. Yes. Yes, it's about RAM. Because when you open the file and you don't close it, it will remain open for no reason. And open the file where we open the file actually? In the RAM. The RAM is not so big. So it's not good practice to open a file and leave it open while you are doing something else. When you finish, close the file. That's why. Okay, now we will look through all the lines of data.txt. Okay, things are starting to repeat. This is an easy chapter. Use it to take maximum number of points because same questions, same or similar questions are repeating for year 12, but not for year 13. Sorry. So here we will read the file data.txt and we will put it in a variable line. Why we are putting it in a variable line? So we can manage this variable to do anything we want. In this context, we will check if this line is empty, then we will write in the file output.txt. the string empty line. Else, we will write the same line as it is in the output.txt. And if, and while, close file, easy, easy, peasy. سهلة. We have to take advantage of this chapter because 27% of the past papers are about files. 27 is so much. No, string هذيك more important than files for one reason. Files, inside the file there is string. Maybe that's why it is 45% and files 27%, because sometimes it's an exercise about string only. Sometimes it's an exercise about file, and within the file there will be a string. Array are not rare, but 10%. Okay, let's continue after the break. We will do more exercises. Anyone who want to pass the level, let's make it at 10 o'clock. Okay, thank you so much.